So the battlefield has always been a landscape that's had interventions and man-made interventions all over it. That was true in 1745, but of course it's even more true today. The Battle of Prestonpans Heritage Trust, originally when it was first set up in 2006, it didn't have a museum and didn't have a museum collection. So its starting point was, how can we get people to explore the battlefield landscape itself? As times have gone on, the usefulness of paper leaflets have been largely supplanted, and so we developed a walking app so that people can scan the QR codes on the lampposts around the battlefield and guide themselves around the site. We have to rely on the walking app and the directions from interpretation board to monument and so on, and rely on people being able to self-guide around the site, because we don't have the capacity in our team at the moment to be able to regularly say to people that every Saturday or every second Saturday or even once a month there will be a guided walk around. In the long term, we are working hard to make sure that the battlefield is seen as a landscape that can provide a green lung in the center of an increasingly busy and full landscape, full of people. Is that within the development of that new community, there's an understanding of the role that the battle played in the sense of place, as to what that place represents, and that the interpretation and the understanding of the landscape is built into the design of that place, so that it's not about stopping development or preventing anybody ever being able to live or work or enjoy the battlefield. It's quite the reverse. It's about saying that this is part of the community that we are today, and it has been for 280 years. So we're very interested, especially as more housing is developing around the battlefield, almost starting to surround it, so that it creates this green lung in the center. And we're very interested in the way that the battlefield, as well as its innate historical interest, can also serve the ongoing needs of the community in providing still access to large open spaces, to agricultural land, but also land that's accessible. And we know, for example, that there have been communities of a rare species of butterfly developed that have settled on part of the battlefield land because they've been displaced from their natural home because of development. And so we think there's a lot more work to be done going forwards, especially with developers and looking at the long-term future of this land, in terms of saying this land, much of which in the past has been associated with mining and with energy production, much of which used to be part of the Cockenzie Power Station land holdings, has a way that it can actually feed back into the long-term green future of the community. We understand that you've got to keep reminding people and you've got to keep explaining to make them understand, because the best guardians for the landscape are the people who live in it and use it. But how do you make sure that you are still here in 10 or 20 years' time to still be making that case? So really the biggest challenge is taking a long-term approach when we know that we have no long-term security as an organisation. But we need to be in a position where we can create a sustainable museum that will help us to do that beyond the short-term project-by-project basis that we generally operate on at the moment. We're in discussions with one of the developers that's building on the eastern side of the battlefield, looking at a way that in a new community, the battlefield can provide a sense of continuity, a sense of belonging to the landscape. So it's not a nowheresville. It already has an identity and a history when you move into it. So a relationship there that would be between the new and the existing heritage. So for us, I think it's all about understanding. It's understanding that not every site can be measured in the same way, and that the interventions on the battlefield might not be measurable immediately. They might not be measurable actually at all, and so it can't be a requirement that we're able to demonstrate those numbers in hard terms. The qualitative results, however. We can try and measure by talking to the people who use the battlefield, by talking to the community, and by gauging what our visitors say. Here at the museum, we often find people who have done both. They've come to the museum and then they've gone off to explore the battlefield, or the other way around. So we can get their feedback, but we can't measure it numerically. So I think an understanding especially from funders, that that's the case.